Good evening. Sunshine Education welcomes you all. Today, our guest is Mr. Alok Misra, who is a very senior corporate professional. He is a corporate lawyer, company secretary, and corporate leader. He has a very vast experience in corporate field. He has worked with many companies, some multinational companies, some public companies. So detail I can tell. So currently, Mr. Misra is associated with JSW Steel at very senior level. Before that, he worked with Mahanagar Gas Limited. Mahanagar Gas is a joint venture between Maharashtra government, GAIL, and Cell Group. This is a very big company which supplying CNG and other piped gas to Mumbai and nearby area. And he has been their head legal, company secretary, and head compliance. And he has various portfolio over there, like legal. He was legal head and business risk management head, then sustainability head, and board and other corporate related committee related officer. He was secretary to the board and he was secretary to the board subcommittees, and he has been designated risk officer of the company. He has very great exposure over there and he handled a very big IPO for the Mahanagar Gas Limited. So though he devoted a long time and it was really very tedious and cumbersome job, and he did it very well, and the IPO was subscribed multiple times, which was historic. Very much it was appreciated, and Mr. Alok was the center of that whole IPO. And he has licensed with various stakeholders, shareholders, and government licensing. And before that, he worked with global MNC, including Lafarge Cement, which was the second largest cement company in the world. And he was their head legal and company secretary. And before that, also he worked with ISS, Integrated Facility Services, which is Denmark-based company and the largest facility-related company. And prior to this, Mr. Misra has worked with Go Airlines, Wadia Group company, as head legal and CS. And he has varied experience, different type of industry, airline हो या गैस पाइप रिलेटेड या इंडस्ट्री में स्टील रिलेटेड, तो मिस्टर मिश्रा के पास एक बहुत बड़ा वास्ट एक्सपीरियंस है। और पब्लिक में कैसे कंपनी को फंड रेज करना है, कंपनी में क्या क्या होता है, कैसे कंपनी काम कर रही होती है, सो डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स ही हैज हैंडल्ड ओवर देयर। तो आज हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे मिस्टर मिश्रा से, जानेंगे बहुत सारी बातें। और हम कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि बहुत बार सवाल आता है, हम लोग जनरल पब्लिक पे लोग पूछते हैं कि ये कंपनी क्या होती है, ये कारपोरेट क्या है, एमएनसी क्या है, कैसे काम करते हैं, ये की मैनेजमेंट वाले लोग क्या होते हैं, बोर्ड क्या होता है, ये शेयर होल्डर क्या होता है, कैसे पब्लिक पे ये आईपीओ कैसे आता है। तो आज हमारे पास है एक बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस्ड, बहुत ही सीनियर प्रोफेशनल, जिनसे हम कोशिश करेंगे समझने की। सामान्य भाषा में मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की है सर से कि बिल्कुल आम आदमी की भाषा में हमें बताएंगे ये सारी चीजें क्या होती हैं। तो इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ कारपोरेट वर्ड हम आज समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। तो मिस्टर मिश्रा, वी वेलकम यू, and now we will, floor is open and now it is up to you.
Many thanks to Sanjay ji and your organization Sunshine. I should say many thanks for providing me this opportunity in for this platform. Uh, and आपके माध्यम से मैं आपके व्यूअर्स को इंटरनेशनल योगा डे और फादर्स डे के लिए भी बधाइयाँ देना चाहूँगा. Although in our Indian culture it is daily, most of us might be practicing the yoga and parents are staying with us as a normal course, but still as a tradition. And hope this solar eclipse will subsidize this COVID-19 as the people are saying. Uh, I think with this I would start. First of all, I before I start, I have one disclaimer. The views and opinion which I will be telling during today's discussion, these are my personal opinion, and these are subject to understanding of my subject, and these are not the views and opinion of my organization to which I belongs currently or previously. So I think with this smart, and thank you so much for your for my kind introduction, Sanjay ji. I think we can start the
So, Mr.
discussion.
Bisra, yeah, so thank you for joining us today again. And now मैं एक बहुत बेसिक सवाल से शुरू करूंगा कि ये कंपनी होती क्या है, ये कंपनी कैसे बनती है, कितनी तरह की कंपनियां होती हैं, ये सब क्या है कंपनी के बारे में कुछ बेसिक से आप अगर बताएंगे तो थोड़ा अच्छा रहेगा.
जी. So once we say company, if कॉमन लैंग्वेज में हम चलते हैं, सपोज हिंदी में बोलते हैं कंपनी मीन्स जब दो या दो से ज़्यादा लोग कोई एक कॉमन कॉज के लिए कुछ करना चाहें, तो देन एक वो एक कंपनी का फॉर्म कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल मीन्स व्हेंस मोर देन 2% कम्स टुगेदर फॉर एनी बिजनेस, ट्रेड, कॉमर्शियल एक्टिविटी, सो दे कम टुगेदर विद अ कॉमन कॉज कि हम जो है ये मिलकर के बिजनेस करेंगे और एक या ट्रेड करेंगे या कुछ सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करेंगे, और इसके लिए हम एक चलिए एक संस्था का निर्माण करते हैं, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का निर्माण करते हैं. वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज पर द इन द वर्डिंग्स ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट हम उसको कंपनी का नाम देते हैं. कंपनीज एक्ट में उसको कंपनी के नाम से बोला जाता है. अदरवाइज पहले इफ फर्म रहती थी, पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म, प्रोप्राइटरशिप फॉर्म, बस उसमें कुछ लिमिटेशंस थी. फॉर एग्जांपल partnership proprietorship firm might not be having the liability clauses and all those things. कंपनी में liability नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एज फार एज द promoters are concerned, लिमिटेड liabilities हैं. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, कंपनी में क्या एडवांटेज मिलता है कि कंपनी इट इज जस्ट लाइक ए वॉलंटरी एसोसिएशन ऑफ सम कॉमन पीपल who have the common mind, who came together to work for some trade business activities, and they come together, they form some common memorandum, एंड मीन मेमोरेंडम दे कैन मेंशन कि भाई ये ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज हम में डालेंगे कि हम ये बिजनेसेस करेंगे, ये मेरे मेन बिजनेसेस होंगे, वो ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज में मेन बिजनेस में चले जाएंगे. इसके अलावा सपोज अगर हम ये बोलते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई से अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस मेन बिजनेस वी शैल आल्सो दिस, वी कैन इन फ्यूचर सपोज व्हेन द कंपनी विल ग्रो वी शैल डू सम एनेक्सरी और अनदर बिजनेस, तो वो टाइप ऑफ बिजनेस वी कैन पुट इन द अदर ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज ऑफ द मेमोरेंडम ऑफ द एसोसिएशन ऑफ द कंपनी. ये जो मेमोरेंडम है ये कंपनी का एक मेन डॉक्यूमेंट बन जाएगा और कंपनी वही एक्टिविटी करेगी जो उसके मेमोरेंडम में लिखी हुई है. So that is the main thing. This is the main activity that company will do all these things which is mentioned in the main object clause of the memorandum of the company. Then company will be having some office, business करने के लिए कोई ऑफिस की आवश्यकता है. So then there will be registered office of the company which will also be mentioned. Then company will be having some clauses with respect to the capital, की company की capital कितनी रहेगी, so that will be mentioned in the capital clause of the memorandum of association of the company. And then there will be some directors, common directors who has come together initially. So वो मेन कंपनी के डायरेक्टर बन जाएंगे, इनिशियल डायरेक्टर बन जाएंगे, और वो सब मिल करके एक देन कंपनी का क्या मेन बाईलॉज होंगे, कंपनी किस तरह से चलेगी, कब मीटिंग्स होगी, कभी डायरेक्टर क्या काम करेंगे, क्या किसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी, देन वो सब चीज़ें वी शैल पुट ऑल दिस थिंग इन द आर्टिकल्स ऑफ द एसोसिएशन ऑफ द कंपनी. So then the company will be having the memorandum, the company will be having its articles ready. Then company will approach, means company means those promoters who come together to form a company will approach to the ROC office, registrar of company's office of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and maybe with the help of some professional, it can be company secretary, he can be a chartered accountant, he can be an advocate also, and then with the help of him they can incorporate a company. And nowadays this incorporation has become extremely simple. With the new spice form, government has started this ease under the ease of doing business. Once we approach to the ROC office, then while first of all we have to seek the name of the company. What is the name, what name we propose. A business के लिए हमें कुछ नाम डालना है, ABC and Sons or whatever. So here generally people mention the ABC Private Limited if the company is private limited. If it is a limited company, then they will mention the ABC Limited. But that name might already be taken by someone else. किसी पहले से लेके रखा हुआ है, तो हम 2-3 ऑप्शन उसको देंगे और उसमें से जो नाम अवेलेबल होगा वो ROC ऑफिस से हमको नाम मिल जाएगा. इसके बाद हम ये फर्दर डॉक्यूमेंट्स ऑनलाइन सबमिट करेंगे, अपलोड करेंगे और उसके द्वारा कंपनी का इनकॉर्पोरेशन हमारा एक दिन में भी आज की डेट में पॉसिबल है, and provided we provide all those documents, submit all those documents online. And the best thing as of now is this, apart from the company incorporation, जो कंपनी के साथ में जो नए फॉर्म्स आ रहे हैं उसके में वो कंपनी में जो डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं उनका डिन नंबर भी अलॉट कर देते हैं, पैन नंबर, कंपनी का पैन नंबर भी दे देते हैं, कंपनी का टैन नंबर दे देते हैं, ईपी एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड ऑफिस का रजिस्ट्रेशन भी दे देते हैं, ईएसआईसी का रजिस्ट्रेशन भी हो जाता है, प्लस आपका बैंक अकाउंट ओपनिंग फॉर्मेलिटी है, जीएसटी फॉर्मेलिटीज है, ऑल दो थिंग्स हैज बीन क्लब्ड टुगेदर विद दिस न्यू स्पाइस फॉर्म्स नाउअडेज. So under this new norms, and it is a very fast and speedy process, I could say. So under the new ease of doing business, the government has make all these things very easy. Now company can be calculated very easily. So this is a basic process I conveyed about how the company can be incorporated. अभी आपकी कंपनी बन गई, सपोज कंपनी में, हाँ मैंने बताया कि नेम होगा, मेमोरेंडम आर्टिकल होगा, रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस होगा, ऑब्जेक्ट्स उसके पास होंगे, क्या मेन काम करेगी, क्या अलग काम करेंगे. देन ये कंपनी ये भी हो सकता है फ्यूचर में अगर हम चाहें कि हम ये काम जिस एक्टिविटी में है इसके अलावा हम कोई दूसरी एक्टिविटी में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहते हैं, देन ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज कैन आल्सो बी चेंज्ड बाय टेकिंग द अप्रूवल फ्रॉम द शेयर होल्डर. तो इस टाइप से हम उसमें ऑब्जेक्ट क्लास में या किसी भी दूसरी कभी हम रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस शिफ्ट करना चाहें तो वो भी चेंज पॉसिबल है और इजी ढंग से हम उसको कर सकते हैं. तो ये हो गया कंपनी का इनकॉर्पोरेशन के बारे में. नाउ आई थिंक आपका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन था संजय जी, टाइप ऑफ कंपनीज. सो
Yes.
देयर आर various types of companies and we can differentiate various types of companies on the basis of few parameters. These parameters can be the liability, means basis on the liability that I told you, the company can be limited by shares, company can be limited by guarantee, there can be unlimited companies also, or company can be differentiated based on the incorporation, let's say registered company or incorporated company. Company can be incorporated under the current Companies Act or previous Companies Act, or unregistered company, or even there are few companies which are chartered company which came during British era, those types of company. Mainly the most prevalent things is the company based on the numbers. So public limited company, private limited company. So and nowadays the recent Companies Act has also inducted the provision for the OPC, 1% company. Earlier there was requirement for at least 2% for incorporation of a company. Now even a 1% can also be incorporated company. The name is 1% company. The biggest advantage of the company I told you is the liability, and in the legal language it is a separate legal entity. The company is a separate legal entity as compared to its from its promoters. So company does its business separately. So future, suppose in future there is some heavy losses comes, then the liability of the promoters are restricted, and the company will be considered as a separate legal entity. So that is the biggest advantage in doing the business through a company. Or so hence, and then one more thing is there, that आप फंड्स रेज कर सकते हैं कंपनी को. कंपनी मेथड से अगर आप बिजनेस कर रहे हैं तो आप बहुत उस कंपनी को किसी भी स्केल तक ले जा सकते हैं. वी हैव सीन यूनिकॉर्न कंपनीज, वी हैव सीन बिलियंस ऑफ कंपनीज. तो जैसा जैसा कंपनी का बिजनेस बढ़ता जाएगा वैसे वैसे आप डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरीके से कंपनी में फंडिंग करते जाएंगे, इन्वेस्टमेंट इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे और कंपनी का टर्नओवर ग्रोथ होता जाएगा और धीरे धीरे कंपनी बहुत बड़ी कंपनी बन जाएगी. Or obviously it will be managed by the board members only, and obviously in some of the board members might be the promoters who had initially taken the idea of incorporation of the company. So you are sitting at the main chair also, and having the leadership, having the control also on the company, along with the help of other professionals, and operating the company. So
ओके. नहीं,
this is what.
अब
There can
मैं
be
थोड़ा
other type. Sorry.
मैं थोड़ा ये जानना चाह रहा था कि ये जो कंपनियां हुई बन गई, तो अभी इस पे आप कुछ और बताना चाहेंगे कि और किस तरह की कंपनियां हैं, या हम ये
हाँ
समझने की कोशिश करें कि कंपनी काम कैसे करती है, शेयर होल्डर क्या होता है, या आप थोड़ा सा जो भी बताना
जी.
चाहें.
So one more category, a few more categories of the companies left. I just take only the type of the companies only. Let's say there can be limited liabilities company. Now recently this concept has introduced. There can be foreign companies, those companies who are incorporated in the foreign, not in India. So they are considered to be foreign company. Then there can be companies based on the control. For example, holding company, the main company. Under this there can be subsidiary company, उसके नीचे एक subsidiary company है जो उसकी holding company है, और एक company must kind of have some small portion of the company of another share, so that company can be considered as an associate company. So based on the control also, that this categorization can happen. So holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, there can be no profit company, section 8 company, what we say, this trust, this one. Then if company is listed on the stock exchanges, then those company will be considered as a listed companies, or otherwise as other company can be considered as an unlisted company. So based on the listing criteria, you can differentiate the companies into two parts, listed or unlisted, that way. There are can be another company, Nidhi company, producer company. So there are a lot. It's a big thing. I think topic is very long,
Yeah,
lengthy for discussion.
yeah, it is very
So
vast. So I
yeah.
think now life is over. Now we should think about the company काम कैसे करती है, because you are having a very vast experience, around more than 20 years I can say. तो कंपनी काम कैसे करती है, शेयर होल्डर क्या है, ये बोर्ड क्या है, ये ऑर्गेनोग्राम कैसे होता है, हायरार्की लेवल क्या है, थोड़ा सा इस बारे में कुछ बताइए, थोड़ा सा अंदाजा लगे हमें भी.
So, as I told you, the company is mainly the company's board of directors has the entire power to operate the company for the business what which business company pertains to. The board can do has the entire power as per the Companies Act, and accept those powers which is already provided by the that this power can be exercised by the shareholders. So what happened? I'll come little briefly now. जब कंपनी ने शुरुआत में अपने शेयर्स दिए, तो शेयर्स शेयर होल्डर्स ने लिए, तो वो शेयर होल्डर्स कंपनी के मेंबर्स बोले जाते हैं. जो स्टार्टिंग में जो प्रमोटर्स थे उन्होंने कुछ कैपिटल डाली कंपनी में और उनको कंपनी ने बदले में शेयर्स दिए, तो वो उस कंपनी के मेंबर्स भी हो गए. इनिशियल प्रमोटर कैन बी मेंबर एज वेल एज द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी. वही लोग शुरुआत में डायरेक्टर बन गए. वो डायरेक्टर्स ने कुछ और डायरेक्टरों को मिला अपॉइंट किया, मे बी वेरियस मेथड, एडिशनल डायरेक्टर और कुछ इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर, एंड देन ए प्रॉपर एक बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स बन के रेडी हुआ. दिस बोर्ड हैज द अथॉरिटी, दे हैज द फुल पावर. Amongst them, there must be one, might be one managing director who will be supervising, controlling the company as per the direction of the board of directors, or board is having the entire authority. Day-to-day basis, this managing director will be performing, or there can be other executive directors or whole-time directors who are in the full-time employment of the company and doing the entire business for the company under the supervision direction of the board members itself. The ultimate full authority is with the board members. So then the first and foremost on the company structure is the board members itself. Although the ownership is owned by the shareholders, members, but the day-to-day business is governed by operated by the board members. And obviously daily board meeting used to happen in three at least 4 times in a year. It can be on a frequently basis, it happens depending on the requirement of the business. Then they give the guidance, the board, and daily basis the managing director and whole-time director conduct the business. Then obviously when there are bigger company, there might be few department, their department head might be there. They will be assisting to the CEO or managing director. In few companies, apart from the MD, CEO can also be there, who will be in charge for the business. And in one company may have few business verticals. Every vertical can have the head person. He can be considered as the CEO of the company. He might be reporting to the MD then. So is by this way the structure comes up. So first board members, then MD, you can say. MD obviously is also the one of the amongst the board members. Then the CEO if it is there. Then the head of finance, maybe the CFO. Then the person who is the whole key managerial persons, also the as per the definition of the act, CEO or MD, company secretary, CFO. All these are the full-time director. All these are the key managerial persons who are responsible for the day-to-day business. So company secretary also comes into the picture. He is in the category of the one of the whole-time director as per the act as well, and he basically lies with the board members, as well as he's a main link between the board members as well as the other HOD of the companies, who are the departmental head of the companies. So that way, and then the departmental head must be having some different under them there is a team of the people who are working. So this is a structure, mainly the broader way I could say. and this change or this will depend on the business of the company or the size of the organization, and also depending on the which territory they belongs or different place. It can be the company can have some different branch offices, central office, this office, that office, and accordingly the hierarchy happens. So this is the mainly the hierarchy, as I told you.
And what about role of company secretary? Being a company secretary is a pivotal
जी,
position, and it is definitely a big position. So, what is exactly the role of the company secretary? Because बहुत सारे लोग जनरली पूछते हैं ना, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी का काम क्या होता है, करते क्या है? ये सीएस जो होते हैं, ये बैठे होते हैं और बड़ी पोजीशन है, कारपोरेट ऑफिस में बैठे हैं, बट एग्जैक्टली कर क्या रहे हैं ये? थोड़ा सा इस बारे में बताएंगे आप?
So I told you the company secretary is one of the key managerial person, and generally most of the companies he report to MD, or in few companies they also report to the CFO of the company, depending on the nature of the organization. And so he is the responsible for the convening, conducting of the board meeting, all committee meetings. The board can have a few committee meetings, depends. So and also so his main job is for liaison with the board members, then the different HODs of the company, convening and conducting of the board meeting, preparation for the minutes, circulation of the minutes to the board members as well as the respective head of department, and then ensure that those activities have been performed. Statutory compliances means compliances of the Companies Act and other laws applicable on the company. Then he is also responsible for the corporate governance in the organization. He is responsible for various compliances, whether with respect to the Companies Act or with respect to the other laws. There are a lot of other laws applicable. Obviously, in the Companies Act, it can be annual return, secretarial audit, and maintenance of the statutory registers. There are a lot of statutory registers has to be maintained, so it is his responsibility. Then major role is for the investor grievance. He is the person who look after the investors. Investors might be the retail investor, or maybe the in few companies it can be the bigger investor, also financial institutions and mutual fund and all those things. Bigger companies there can be separate investor relations shell also. Then obviously the liaison part between various stakeholders. These stakeholders can be inside as well as outside, as well as in few cases it can be government, in few cases it can be regulatory authority, whether it is state. If the company is listed, then his role further enhanced. He has to take the compliances with respect to the stock exchanges, with respect to the SEBI, with respect to the RBI, or if company belongs to some particular industry, then obviously the regulator also comes into the picture. The compliances with respect to those regulator. For example, in oil and gas sector, Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, PNGRB is the regulator. So then we have to make the compliances for those as well. So few companies, there's a system of making action taken report based on the minutes, then sending to the HODs, and then compliance and all those things. Then basically he is the governing professional. He is also responsible for the applicability of the book of delegation of power, and few companies they also depends on the nature. They also conduct other activities, including corporate legal, including business risk management, including sustainability things. Statutory compliances itself is a big task. We can take it further. Then various other corporate affairs depends on the nature. I mean, joint venture company, the corporate affairs is again liaison in corporate affairs is a major task for the company secretary. So hence, this is I could say some value.
तो मतलब काफी सारी जिम्मेदारियां हुई,
जी
शेयर
जी
होल्डर हो या बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर हो और हेड्स हो,
जी
उन सब में एक प्रोसेस फ्लो कैसे चल रहा है, एक कंपनी
जी
सेक्रेटरी को ये देखना होगा, और प्रोसेस फ्लो नीचे से ऊपर की तरफ रिपोर्ट भी करानी है, और ऊपर से
जी
कैसे डायरेक्शंस को नीचे तरफ लेकर के जाना है, ये सारा का
राइट
सारा काम कंपनी सेक्रेटरी का होगा।
जी जी
ठीक है,
बिल्कुल
ठीक है। So next, I will ask, because you are having very good exposure in different organizations. आपने हवाई जहाज भी खरीदने के एग्रीमेंट बनाए हैं, और आप एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री हो या गैस इंडस्ट्री हो, जो ऑयल एंड गैस हो या स्टील इंडस्ट्री हो, सो बिग बिग एग्रीमेंट्स एंड डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ एक्सपोजर यू आर हैविंग इन देयर। तो अब एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज आती है, लोग पूछते हैं कि भाई ये पैसे कैसे आते हैं कंपनी में, तो व्हाट आर द मोड्स फॉर रेजिंग फंड बाय द कंपनी, कैसे फंड कैसे लाएगा कंपनी?
So depend on the business of the company mainly, the and also the need and business projects, and lot of factors are there. So company can raise the funds through various mechanisms. One, it can be I mean, initially it can give the shares to the promoters. The maybe the preferential allotment can happen, or later on it can give the shares to the I mean existing shareholders by way of right issues, or it can give the shares to the some set of group of the promoters, set of group of the investors by way of private placement, some shares to the private placement. It can be if the company is already established company having sufficient profit, they can through bonus issue they can enhance the capital of the company, and then obviously the share capital can be increased. There can be qualified institutional buyers to whom one set of the qualified QIB set a category. Those shares can be given to them. I mean, this mainly happen in the private companies. If the company is public company, then obviously they can also, when it having the big strength, they can also go for the stock exchange listing. The first stock exchange listing will be considered as the IPO, initial public offering. In future, if it happens once more, it will be the follow-on public offer FPO, or the existing promoters can also list their shares to the stock exchanges. There will not be enhancement of the capital, but the existing promoters can share their shares in the stock exchanges. It can be offer for sale, or then other ADR, GDR. A lot of transactions can happen. Then further, you can also have this raise the fund through debt mechanism. There can be debentures. There might be, or maybe you can also issue the preference shares to the shareholders. Preference shares, it can be maximum for 20 years period. In case of infrastructure company, it can be maximum for 30 years. Similarly, for debentures also, debenture can usually for 10 years period. Then you have to comply the rules in that regard. And there can be various type of debentures. It can be non-convertible debentures, convertible debentures, redeemable, non-redeemable. So then it's a mix. It can be, I mean, depending, it can be secured, it can be unsecured, listed, unsecured, unlisted. I mean, mainly the tenure is for 10 years, and for infrastructure company, it can go up to 30 years period also. So there are various mechanisms, various fundraising through which the company can raise the funds, the equity fund side or maybe debt side, and each and everything is having long process. So I mean, when if time permits, we can go in future for this, because even for each and every activity, whether it is a right issue or whether it is public issue or whether anything, it's a very long discussion or process involved.
No, definitely we will have some separate discussion over
Right.
other different topics. But today I
Right.
will at least I will ask you about IPO, some basic brief idea about IPO, because you have a biggest exposure, I can say, and you are one of the best company secretary of India. So at least I should request you to ask something about this IPO. So please enlighten us about something about that.
So for IPO, actually, for any company secretary professional, this is a dream to conduct a IPO, at least in a bigger size IPO for in his career, and it gives excellent exposure for all type of activities, for the secretarial activities mainly. And what happened in process of the IPO, you get exposure towards various exposure towards the various stakeholders, including I mean merchant bankers, councils, various councils, domestic councils, international councils. Then few times you have to appoint the councils from company side as well as uh, from banker side, and then the various other authorities are there, including printer, registrar. Then you have to interact with the depositories, NSDL, CDSL, stock exchanges. Obviously, we start with the due diligence process, which itself is very tedious. And the good thing from since incorporation till the time the IPO is going, you complete due diligence happen by the uh, advocates, by the councils in very detailed manner. And whatever, if there is any non-compliance, this is opportunity to get it complied. And then obviously we have to submit a document that is known as the DISP to the stock exchanges, to the sorry to the SEBI, and SEBI vet it properly, provide their comments, and accordingly the RS period having prospectus has to be filed again to the SEBI, and then SEBI permit for issuance to the and a lot of in between. I mean, you may have to seek the approval from RBI if required, or maybe obviously the in-principle approval and other approval from the stock exchanges, from the depositories, and you have to also license with the investors. Company has to go for the road show, domestic, international. Fortunately, for the MGL IPO, I also got the opportunity to, interact with all these stakeholders, including meeting with various investors. We have traveled in India, abroad, so that's a golden opportunity for NECS for meeting with and getting the contacts and having marvelous exposure. That's most important. Also, it is although it is a very tedious process. However, you know that the exposure what you get, that's phenomenal, I could say. So, and then after all these things, you get the opportunity one day when your shares got listed, and obviously the the whenever you reach the for belling the opening bell ceremony, that's pleasure for anybody, for any professional.
Yeah, definitely. So that has been very good exposure and a very good
Yeah,
experience for. So we will have
yeah.
separate discussion on this particular topic
Right, sir.
separately.
Right. I think, and the best thing is the company, the whose shares are might be 10 rupees share, 1 rupee share. When it is listed to 1,000 rupees or 100 rupees or 500 rupees, the company valuation is increases to 50 times, 100 times, and then obviously the company has to comply with those stock exchanges compliances as well in future, and it has become in the limelight. Earlier, you were doing business in house only.
So
So this
now
is
I will. Yeah, because IPO is a very vast topic. We can discuss long
right,
and long and long. So many days, even
right,
we can have discussion on IPO.
right.
So definitely we will discuss it any other day. And now I will ask you a very general question which public is asking again and again. ये MNC क्या है? ये गवर्नमेंट कंपनी क्या है? इनमें कल्चरल डिफरेंस क्या है? So being you work with all these type of companies, so I think you are the right person who can enlighten us about that. What are these different culture and which type of companies in this?
So, multinational companies are those companies who are operating with a different time zone, different countries, and they are having offices at various countries, and they have the business also in various countries. So, you know that they have to deal with the culture and mindset of the people who are residing in those countries. So they have a very broad policies, which capture for all people, all their workforce, and they have to also comply with the law of the land of all countries, cities, whatever. So hence, the best thing is professionally run organizations. Mainly the MNC companies are considered to be the best professional run organizations. I mean, similar thing is there with big conglomerate also, whether it is Tata Group or there are a lot of other big conglomerate in India as of now. They are also having excellent professionals, and all things are done in the professional manner. For each and everything. There is a formal policy, and they have to adopt the policy decisions. And because they have thousands of employees, if they don't, do all these things, then there will be havoc. And obviously, they can't favor for one particular employee. So the good thing is with the MNCs or with the big conglomerate, they have a written down process, policies, SOPs available, and they also take care of the employees. They also think about the training part of the employees, updation, professional updation, the new technology, what is happening, what is going in their area, in one country or another country, that is available. So that's the best, exposure to as far as the employee is concerned. In case of MNCs and big conglomerate, government companies, what happened where the stake in the company for more than 50% with government or state government or with any public sector undertaking, those companies are considered as government company. Their CAG audit applicable, the auditor will be appointed by the Controller and Auditor General of India, and they have to follow the government norms as well. There are a lot of policy decisions which government are there. For example, in case of contract and procurement, the government mechanism has to be followed. Tendering will happen and all those things. Similarly, for in case of employees also, there's a written down policies of the government that has to be applicable in the government companies, and those things are there. As compared to public company, I mean nowadays a lot of governance things are there. If the company is listed company, they have to comply with all the stock exchanges formality, and I mean, SEBI compliances, everything is there. So accordingly, those things are there. But I could say the MNC and the conglomerate is always the better position as compared to other.
Culturally, you are saying. So
The culture
culturally,
wise, culture wise, I could say for these companies, for the MNCs and are considered to be the best one as far as the employees are concerned. They are best employee friendly.
ओके गुड. सो नाउ एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन दिमाग में आता है. आज के ज़माने में स्टार्टअप कंसेप्ट बहुत चल रहा है. तो काफ़ी सारे स्टार्टअप पूछते रहते हैं कि भई स्टार्ट तो कर दिया बिज़नेस हमने, बट क्या करना है? प्रोप्राइटरशिप कंपनी बनानी है या प्राइवेट लिमिटेड करनी है या लिमिटेड करनी है? ये करें क्या कि हमें कल को फंड लेने में भी दिक्कत ना हो और कल को कुछ और तकलीफ ना हो कि इनकम टैक्स वाले चले आ रहे हैं, कोई चला आ रहा है, बंद कर दो, ये कर दो. तो व्हाट शुड दे ऑप्ट, इनके लिए आप क्या एडवाइस करेंगे? तो उन्हें क्या करना चाहिए?
See, for the startup company, I could suggest from very first day, because every promoter of the startup company, they have a dream to become unicorn. I mean, everybody want that they should grow like anything, like uh, and then in future they can go for either for IPO or for other things, big things. So suppose, I mean, whenever the company grows, you need the angel investment, you need the venture capital investment on the company. So suppose if I want to make investment in any company, so what I see, the company should be professionally run, professionally governed, they comply with all rules, laws applicable. So the same thing applicable for the startup company also. From very first day, they has to ensure the business is important, definitely most important thing, but simultaneously the compliances is also equally important. And I mean, non-compliance is having more cost, definitely. It's a clear way. So from very first day, they have to comply of all laws applicable. They may engage some professionals who are concentrated towards the all statutory compliances part from very first day, and the business would be done in a professional way. And thirdly, I could say, I mean, there should be proper written down policies, procedures that they need to adopt and follow. So these are the three things. I mean, if they start with all these basic fundamentals, so definitely, I mean, I'm sure that they can run faster and they can achieve their targets.
तो मतलब उन्हें एक सिस्टमैटिक वे में जाना चाहिए, आप ये सजेस्ट करेंगे कि स्टार्टअप्स को भी एक प्रॉपर प्रोटोकॉल मेंटेन करते हुए कंपनी चलानी
Right,
चाहिए.
that's right. From very
तो
first
फिर
day, they have to comply
या
with the, I mean, compliances plus rules, policies applicable, and then proper the way. I mean, I told the company runs.
ओके. तो अबाउट कंप्लायंस तो अपने आप में ही एक बड़ी चीज हो गई. तो बिकॉज यू हैव बीन एंड यू आर कंप्लायंस ऑफिसर एंड फॉर बिग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस यू आर मैनेजिंग. so can you tell us about something about compliance related, how to comply and what is compliance?
So, as far as the compliance is concerned, I mean, as of now, it's we can hear from the mouths of very senior professionals also, and from the everybody in the corporate team, compliances and all those governance, very general system. Sorry. So compliance is people can say what is the compliance or how to do it mainly. So it depends on the nature of the business. It depends on the size of the organization. It depends on also the I mean management perspective how they consider. But the best thing as a compliance officer of any company, if I have to ask this question, I could say we have to understand what are the main laws or main acts are applicable in the business in which you are running, and make a comprehensive checklist. And we should have a proper system. It can be and it should be the online system, it should not be the manual system. Maybe some software, or maybe this software might be the internal software developed by the your own IT team, or maybe some not required that you buy some outside product. Depending on the requirement, when the company grows big, you can have the ready-made software also available. But uh, the major item is you should have a grasp and you should be aware, maybe and you know that anybody may not be aware that what all are the things are applicable. Hence what can be done, I mean, we can engage some consultant who can have a one-time audit or one-time proper due diligence, that which all things are applicable in this business at this particular location. And accordingly this comprehensive compliance chart, or maybe whatever you say, it can be prepared. And accordingly, depending on the organization, depending on the size and depending on the business and other things, it has to be implemented. And the most important thing is the control. Not only the implementation, we have to make proper awareness of those compliances and impact of the non-compliances to the implies that what these are the what is going to affect our organization. Even our operation can also be stopped if we don't comply all these rules or regulations, or maybe heavy penalty on the organization. And plus loss of reputation. A lot of things are there. So hence, accordingly, it has to be implemented. Proper awareness should be given. Proper training should be given to the all respective people. And the most important thing for the management is concerned, there should be proper control mechanism. That escalation. Suppose if not complied at where this before the due date, then the I mean proper mail system or escalation should happen automatically triggers, so that the compliance officer or maybe aware that yes, this is a due date and this compliance has not been happened, so that proper action can be taken before the due date. So I think proper accordingly the system has to be prepared and implemented, and that is in the larger
Oh,
interest of the organization. Because all these things,
okay.
when it comes to the IPO in future, or maybe some due diligence thing for the M&A or for other activity, then for even small this non-compliance create a big issues in future. So we should not go in that way.
ओके सो एनी अदर एडवाइस, क्योंकि लोग पूछते रहते हैं भाई ये कारपोरेट के लोग हैं तो इनसे ये एटलीस्ट ये पता तो हो, बच्चे भी पूछते हैं भाई कैसे क्या करना है, कोई भी जनरल एडवाइस व्हाट एवर यू थिंक दैट यू शुड गिव टू जनरल पब्लिक.
Uh, I think your organization Sunshine is doing very well in education sector, and I should congratulate to you also and to your students. So a lot of students are associated with your organization. So maybe उनके लिए एक छोटी सी कविता है मेरे पास, अगर आप बोलें तो इसके थ्रू
बिल्कुल
मैं
बिल्कुल जरूर.
एक मैनर बता सकता हूँ. छोटा सा है कि कष्ट पड़े कठिनाई आए पीछे पाँव न रखना, कांटों में गुलाब खिलते हैं कांटों से क्या डरना, सम्मुख पर्वत हो सागर हो साहस कभी न खोना, जितना तपता है उतना ही और चमकता सोना, हार कभी जो नहीं मानता जीत उसी की होती, हार कभी जो नहीं मानता जीत उसी की होती, जो गहरे सागर में जाता वही पाता है मोती. सो आई थिंक ये जो कविता हमको बहुत अच्छी लगती है. आई एंड बहुत अच्छे विचार इसमें दिए हैं कवि ने. आई डोंट नो हु हैज रिटन इट, बट आई लाइक इट वेरी मच. एंड दिस itself provides a great insight what I mean it is applicable not only for students but for even all professionals also. So
ओके
in summary I could say the same.
सर, बहुत कुछ आज समझने को मिला और जनरल पब्लिक के लिए तो आई विल से इट वाज अ ग्रेट इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन. और आपने बहुत सारी चीज़ें लोगों को बताई और काफ़ी कुछ समझने को मिला, सीखने को मिला. और हम अलग अलग टॉपिक्स पे कुछ आपसे फर्दर एडवाइस लेते रहेंगे. डिस्कशन पे हम फिर कुछ नया डिस्कशन लेके आएंगे. जैसे आपका लंबा एक्सपीरियंस है तो उसको हम जनरल पब्लिक तक पहुंचाने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे. तो थैंक यू सर, आपने आज हमें ज्वाइन किया. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you
थैंक
so much. Thank you to everybody. Thanks for Sunshine and thank you, Sujit. Thank you.
थैंक